And we're live. Welcome back, everyone. My name's Morgan, and I'm joined by my awesome co-host, Bobby. Bobby, say hi.
Hey.
And we're joined by the beautiful Miss Shannon from Optometry School, all the way in Chicago. Hi, Shannon.
Hello.
How
Glad
are
to be
you?
here. Good. Tired,
So
but we're
excited to
hanging in
have
there.
you.
I'm excited to be here.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, well, I was born. When I was born, it was a summer day in a just kidding. So I'm a Penn State alumni. That's so sad to say now.
Whoa.
And I'm living in Chicago. I'm going to optometry school. I'm tired all the time, but we're hanging in there. And yeah, in 4 years, you can hit me up for all of your eye doctor needs.
Bet.
Beautiful. What
That's it.
state were
That's
you
all I
born
have.
in, Shannon?
What?
What state were you born in?
Alaska, baby.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's pretty cool. You get to say that.
I
How
feel
many
like I
states
knew
have
that.
you lived in?
Alaska, and then we went to Louisiana, and then we went to New York, and then we went to Pennsylvania. And now I'm in Illinois. Ooh,
That's a
Wow,
fun
Midwest.
one.
you are like, what is it?
Mrs. Worldwide.
Bi-coastal, right? I mean, all the way from Alaska, that's like really far over the coast, and like all the way to New York, that's like the other coast, and then Pennsylvania is basically the same as New York. You have just been everywhere.
Tri-coastal, Midwest. Oh, wait. The Midwest is not a coast.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good enough.
but you've been, that's pretty cool. All I can say is that I was born in New Jersey and now I go to school in Pennsylvania. Like, that's not that cool. And all Bobby can say is that he's ever lived in
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
that
So
is
that's
true. Why would I leave?
true.
Hey, I miss Pennsylvania.
And I miss you.
Yeah, we miss Shannon.
I miss you guys.
For anyone listening, Shannon was actually in that conversation that started this podcast.
Correct.
Like, literally, it was a Zoom call between
The three of us.
yeah, the three of us.
Just
And
hanging
that's
out.
when it was born. So
The
Shannon,
conversation went, Morgan and Bobby were like, we should do a podcast. And I said, that's a great idea, you guys.
And then we did it.
Shannon, you would be our third co-host if you were still at Penn State.
I should have just did a fifth year,
You should know
Should've.
here.
but alas, I did not.
It's
So
okay.
how
I was already on my way
elementary
here.
school?
It's going really well. It's hard, but that's expected.
No, I thought it'd be easy.
I've already learned more in 1 quarter and 2 weeks or 1 week than I have learned probably my entire undergrad. It is so much, but it's going really well.
Good. So you do it in quarters. So what, you had finals and then you basically just start a new round.
Yeah, usually it's like you do a quarter and then you get a break week, but because of coronavirus, we skipped our break week and we went right into quarter 2. But it's gonna be nice because we get like all the way from Thanksgiving until like after New Year's where I can be home in Pennsylvania.
Will you be doing
Just to like,
there?
there's only two of the weeks we're gonna be virtual, but the rest are like actually off. Like there are breaks that they just kind of condensed into one. So that'll be nice. But yeah,
Good.
we're a little accelerated right now.
We'll have to
Yep.
visit while you're back stateside.
Yeah, we'll have to do a socially distanced visit.
Picnic.
We can all stay safe.
We can watch
Yeah, I'll
Shrek.
bring.
An outdoor pick. Oh my gosh, Shrek.
Don't tempt me.
Shannon's
My
favorite
roommates,
movie of all time is Shrek.
like 2 weeks in, we were like, we should do a movie night, and they let us watch Shrek, and it's the most love that I ever felt
Yeah.
here. But
Amazing. All right. Well,
yeah.
we'll get into some of the deep content that we have planned for today.
The extensive, thoroughly planned,
Oh yes.
well executed, and so yeah, I guess I really should have stopped at well executed.
Here's the list. I'm working on it right now.
Yeah, you know, our script, we just gotta pull it out. Oh shoot,
Yeah.
we lost it. Okay, Shannon, what got you involved in HEAL?
Um, Actually, shout out Kylie Whitehead because I was in a bigger org, and then she was like, "Hey, come hang out with these people from my thon org." So I reluctantly did because um, social interactions with new people freak me out. But so I went, and I actually had a lot of fun. And I was like, "That's great." So that's how I got involved my freshman year.
And
Super
then,
spicy.
so what was like your experience joining and stuff? Like how far in were you into the semester?
I think it was like the very end of the no, first semester? No, actually, I think it was the second
Were you at
semester.
freshman year?
Yes. I joined, it was either very late in the first semester or very early in the first semester. Second semester. My brain is so tired today. But somewhere in like the middle of the year, we'll just say that I joined. And but like it was such a great like welcoming experience, like not being there from the very beginning of the year, like coming in late and everyone was so welcoming, and it's just that's pretty much just characteristic of everyone that's in Heal is how welcoming they are and how like tight knit it is. So oh, I miss it.
Yeah.
It misses you.
How many members was it then?
It was oof, great question. I'd have to like go back in the group me. Over what do we have? What did we have last year? I think it was a little less.
80-ish.
I think it might have been definitely less than that. More than 60, less than 80. Because we definitely grew last year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was small. It was enough to like know everyone, which was really, really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you were, sorry, Bobby, and I'm sorry to anyone who ever had the position before, but you were the best Thon weekend chair that Thon has ever, sorry, Heal has
I
ever.
agree.
Bobby, I love you, but Shannon's just a little bit cooler, and I'm sorry to everyone who had.
No, I agree. I 100% agree for that.
But what was
We could not have had the success that we did without Bobby every step of the way. We would have not done as well as we did if Bobby was not my co-chair.
Honestly, you guys were like the dream team co-chair pairing.
Yeah, honestly,
not watching, either like giving each other hearts. They were like the true pair.
I have two great co-chairs now, but they both know that Shannon will always have the special place in my heart as my favorite co-chair. So
Bobby was my first and only co-chair, so he was. Honestly, if you told me if we had to like go back and you're like have this position, but here's a different co-chair, I probably would say no, thank you.
Aww.
Can't do it without Bobby.
Stop. I'm gonna cry.
Well, that's sweet.
I'd have been like, yeah, I'll do it. I don't care.
Yeah, give me anyone. Give me any.
Yeah, I don't care. Just put their name down.
Sure, is this what I'm dealing with now?
Yeah.
So why Thon weekend, Shan?
Because voice crack. Ew. My junior year, I had the opportunity to dance for Heal, and after that, I was like, you know what? I had my like perfect Thon experience, so I was like, I want to do everything I can to give everybody else their perfect Thon experience. So, Thon Weekend was my first choice. I would have reluctantly taken anything else other than outreach because we know I'm not good with new people. But yeah, I knew I wanted to do Thon Weekend. And as soon as I got the call and they were like, and Kylie was like, Bobby's gonna be your co-chair, I was like, stop it. Stop giving me my perfect, like, what's the word? You know, just, it was perfect.
You're perfect.
You're perfect.
I honestly sometimes feel like you guys is third wheel. Like I'm just here watching it all happen. But I'm honestly fine with it, so it's okay.
I'm still just waiting for Shannon to come back to me from Chicago.
It'll be a short 4 years.
Oh yeah, well.
You think you'll come back to PA after?
Oh yeah. I think I'm like 98% sure I'll probably be back in Pennsylvania because that's where all my family is. But the more I'm in Chicago, the more I love it so much. Like, I would not mind staying here a little bit, but I already like my sister's gonna start having babies, and I don't
Mm.
wanna miss that because I know I'm gonna be such a good aunt.
True. You're gonna make those kids watch Shrek with you.
Yeah.
So your sister got married. How was that?
It was honestly, so I've only been to two weddings that I've been an adult, but
Mm.
of the two weddings and the two I was flower girls for, it was hands down the best weddings I've ever been to.
Mm.
Being in COVID, that's really saying something. But it was so stressful trying to like honor it and do my first semester of a doctorate program. It was pretty tough,
Yeah.
but it was so worth it. It was so much fun. I wish, like, oh, it was such a good day.
How did it go
Yeah.
with COVID and everything?
Good. We had an inside venue, like that was gonna be our venue like all along, and then last minute they're like, we can't do your wedding, like our
Nice.
COVID changed because of like the governor's things, and it was like totally valid, you don't want to have that many people inside. So I got a call like 2 weeks or 3 weeks
Oh
before my
goodness.
finals week, and my mom was like, yeah, so we might have to change the date of the wedding. And I felt my heart. I was like, I have finals Saturday to Saturday. Like, I don't think I can do it. But so that was to just change the venue within Hershey, but they like last minute kept the date, changed the venue to this like beautiful outside like open tent kind of a thing. So it was like outside, it was like socially distanced, but it was really beautiful, and we got alpacas, which is my dream wedding. My sister stole my idea. I would love to have alpacas at my wedding, but it ended up being perfect. There was like so many like open like air areas that it was nice and safe. The alcohol was there. Um, the dancing, I'm so sorry. The dancing was top tier with our DJ. It was so much fun. And just getting able to like actually see family after I've been away for so long was nice.
Yeah, that's really nice. I'm glad that it ended up working out. Wasn't she like super in love with her first venue too? Like I remember when she picked it.
Yeah, it was like the dream wedding that she always wanted. But honestly, like the second venue we picked, like it was tough that we had to change it, but it was perfect weather.
Mm-hmm.
And like the next day it was like pouring rain, and I'm like,
Oh my
it was perfect that it was like I couldn't have imagined a better one. We got to do like the sparkler send offs and everything, so it was like perfect.
Oh good.
So yeah.
Well, that worked out well.
Yeah, it was so great. And it was nice being home for a little bit, even though like being home and doing school was very stressful,
Yeah.
especially with like the little time change. I'm like, so when do I have class? Like it's always an hour later. But yeah, it was nice.
Did you fly home or drive?
I flew home, which was stressful. It was my first time flying by myself during Corona. So I was like double masked. I was like wiping everything down, and I was like so stressed about it. But we're healthy, we're safe.
You got like the whole plane to yourself then, right? Because no one's really flying that much
No,
anymore.
it was the way back. So the way back home, it was really cheap because it was like a weird time to be flying. So usually tickets back home are crazy, but it was super cheap. And then I like went to check in like the day early, and they're like, "You want to upgrade to first class?" And I'm like,
Yes,
"Do
I
I?"
Well, if you insist.
I was like, "Okay." So I upgraded to first class, so I got to have like just like the nicest time in first class, like flying by myself. I felt so bougie. I was like, I have to like dress for it. So I get dressed kind of nice for the plane with like my little carry-on. Um, and then on the way back, it was a completely packed little plane. I was
back in
in
coach.
back in coach. It was kind of awful. But the guy I was sitting to, he was so nice. He was in the Air Force, and he was just getting home. He had all of his like stuff with him, and I was like, like talking to him a bit, and I was, because like my dad was in the army, so we were kind of bonding. While I was being nervous about flying, so I was like, let's like have a conversation with a stranger, and he like gave me a little dollar from, oh my goodness, Syria, I think Syria maybe.
That's a
It was
place.
so cool. He was like, "Here, do you want this?" I'm like, "I sure do." It's so nice.
Aw.
See, sometimes talking to strangers isn't too bad.
Sometimes, right?
Sometimes.
Sometimes you shouldn't talk to strangers.
Yeah.
I talk
You
to
gotta
every
pick your
stranger.
moments.
Oh boy.
Anyways.
So,
So,
you go, Bobby.
no, you go ahead.
No, you go.
All right, fine. So, Shannon, you told us that you danced your junior year. Do you want to talk a little bit about what it was like to dance in Thon for
I would
Heel?
love to. It was hands down the best experience of my college career, and like top on my list of life, honestly. It was so incredible. Dancing for Heel was, I couldn't imagine dancing for anyone else. The support that Heel had to offer, and just like being able to represent Heel when I love the organization so much. It was so special. Um, Everyone was so supportive. They had really good chicken tendies and PB and J's for us. Yeah.
Great. I'm glad.
How's it gonna? Sorry.
I'm glad the
But yeah, the
best part
chicken
was the
tendies.
chicken tendies.
No, the best part were the people, getting to dance with, like my best friends, and getting to always look up and see you guys in the stands. Bobby, I always knew. My
He's
roommate's
recovering.
crawling behind. She's like, I don't want to get in the shot.
She's good. She's good.
Um,
It's a podcast.
yeah, it's a podcast, but they wouldn't see you anyway. Sorry, let me bring attention
If she
to.
wants to sit down and join us, she can.
They're going. Are you guys going to Open Lab? Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I have a very short attention span. What was I saying?
You were
Oh,
recovering.
every time. Oh, I was about to shower Bobby with compliments. Every time I always could like look up in the stands and see Bobby, and I immediately knew that we would have a little dance party one-on-one.
Always.
And Morgan, we could always count on you to be around on the floor, being dancer relations DRCM. So that was super special.
I was on DAR
Have you
that
guys-
year, but that too, you know.
Oh no, I switched it.
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
was my number one time I remember seeing youth on weekend. I'm pretty sure I complained about being tired to you who was dancing,
Oh
and then
yeah.
put my foot in my mouth as a freshman, and then didn't know how to recover. And I was like, I'm so sorry. You're probably more tired than I am.
Yeah, that
No,
doesn't make it better.
see, I had a really good weekend. Like my
You
lows
were fine at that point.
didn't start later, but I remember that so well. Like I got to see you and Carmen together, and like I was like, "Hey, how are you guys doing?" And you guys are like pretty tired, and I'm like, "Oh, well, me too."
Like, it was like 1 or 2 a.m. on Saturday morning, and we just put our feet in our mouth and literally tell the dancer that we're tired. I have not made that mistake since I was a freshman, but I was like, oh,
No,
that,
if you were gonna do it to anyone, I'm glad it was me. Like at that moment, because that was like I was like really like I wasn't really tired at that point. I was kind
yeah,
of like
you're doing well.
a little bit. Yeah, I was doing well at that point. So I was like, oh.
It's
No, it
alright.
was funny because like the whole weekend, like I'm glad that I knew the time, because I love Kylie's mom so much, but she kept saying the time on accident, and I'm like, I'm glad I just know it, because that would have thrown me off. I felt weird not knowing it, but I was like, it was like a little secret that I was keeping to myself, and it like did not matter. But to me, I was like, ooh, it's a saucy little secret that like I didn't tell my DRCMs that I knew the time the whole time. I just kept like going in the bathroom and Googling like what time is it, and I was like, it was my own little secret. I was like, I don't know the time. Looking
remember
back, I'm
feeling
like,
that.
I made that. I was trying to like keep it interesting for myself, but what were you saying?
Honestly, if that's what helps though, to be like, I know something they don't know, then that is perfect.
Seriously did. TJ kept coming around to like change my the time zone, and I was like, here you go. I was like,
You're like, I could just Google it anyways.
I'm gonna Google it in 20 minutes anyway.
Yeah, you do what you gotta do to keep yourself going.
Yeah.
That was like my one little thing.
Do you have like a favorite moment of the weekend?
I sure do. It was, hmm. Well, runner up is when my mom came down on the floor and she massaged my feet barefoot with lotion. It was the
Wow.
biggest love language. It was Sunday morning. I can't tell you how bad my feet smelled at that point. And then you could like smell my feet on her hands afterwards. And I'm like, I've never felt more loved by you or by anyone in the world because I really needed it. So that's runner up.
The love language.
Yeah, it was. But the best moment I was having, I can't remember what time it was because it all runs together in my memory at this point. But there was a point where I was like having one of like my few really low points, and I was like, oh, I need something to get me jazzed. So I was like, I remember texting Kyle, if you guys remember Kyle, and I was
Love
like,
Kyle.
I need a silent rave. So he and Megan, I thought it was just gonna be them doing a little silent rave to I'm a Believer with me. But like I remember like the whole time like leading up to it, I was listening to just like the Shrek soundtrack, trying to like stop myself from wanting to cry. And because I was being emotional. And then I looked up and I saw like so many people in the stands for Heal, like with their like earbuds in, like ready to silent rave with me. And I was like, oh, I'm so loved. But I started crying immediately. So I was like, I can't do this right now. So I like kept walking in a circle, like listening to like my Shrek soundtrack until I was like mentally prepared. And then I came back and that silent rave like gave me life. For so long after Thon, thinking about that moment has made me cry because I'm like, oh, I'm so loved.
Oh,
Yeah, that was top. Also, getting to be on the stage with the Tuckies when during family hour, that is also on the list. There are just so many good moments.
were you someone who lost feeling in your feet while you were standing up there? Because I remember a lot of dancers were like, that was the hardest thing to stand still that close to the end of the weekend.
It was definitely tough. Emily Foster was she was a superstar when she came down for the final four. Just if she wasn't there to remind me to move my feet, I probably would have just they would have fallen off. But like I was doing a little bit okay as long as I kept them moving, but I think you can see me like in the old recording just kind of swaying back and forth because I was like I don't know how to stay still. But I did lose feeling in my feet for like 6 months after that. It's back now.
That's
So
good.
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of spooky.
Was it in your full foot?
No, it was just in like the pad of my feet and
Okay.
like my middle toes. Like all of that was just like numb.
Maybe
It's
it
back
was
now.
maybe it was from the amount of Advil and Tylenol that you consumed that weekend. I wonder.
I think I gave myself a little ulcer because I don't condone it. But anytime I was ready to go to the nurse's station to get more and they said I wasn't ready, I would say, no, I am ready. And I had my little baggie of my own ibuprofen. So I overdid it. I've learned my lesson because that hurt really bad. I went through a really long spurt where I was like, I'm terrified of ever taking any more like little painkillers, like as little as it is. Because I was
And
like, I
that's on
really,
Shannon being a duffer.
Yeah, right.
we learned from it. Hey, I go from like cheeks up is my like area. So
Perfect.
Yeah, so you'll be
face
fine.
cheeks up.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good.
yeah. It's
Basically from the mask, from where the mask ends up.
Exactly. That's all you can see during one of my, like, what do you call it? Exams anyway. Is mask up.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh my gosh. Well, it works out that you can actually like still practice your job, future job, you know?
Yeah, it's nice, like, that we can even be in clinic right now, but the precautions that everyone's taking are really good. Like, so thank goodness that we can still have that learning environment. Because we want to, how would we learn, completely virtual if we can't practice the skills? Would be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw something the other day on TikTok and I thought it was funny. I know it's not true. I know that all the schools that are teaching future doctors are doing a very good job in making sure that they get practice, but it was like I am so concerned for like 4 to 8 years from now when my
Oh my goodness.
doctor only learned on Zoom.
Yeah. Well, that was like for a little bit, like even so like last year during like my graduating class, like at the end of it, like some schools were graduating their doctors early just to push them out so they could help with COVID. And I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But then there are like all these issues with like even getting like your boards in because like everything had to be canceled. Like I feel so grateful that I was at that point. Like as a first year, a lot of it is didactic learning anyway, so it's a lot of just in the classroom. So I even if we weren't allowed to do a lot of things, I wouldn't be missing too much out. But yeah, it would have been crazy.
Yeah, well, hopefully by the time that you're graduating, coronavirus is not at bay. That would be really scary if it wasn't 4 years from now.
I feel like we're still gonna be like all of our like precautionary um I don't know what the
Measures.
word I'm trying to think. Yeah, thank you.
Got you.
Measures that we're taking are probably gonna stay in place for a very long time. Like I mean, we obviously you like clean in between everyone anyway, but just like the amount that you do, the masks will probably stay for a very long time for everyone working in like
Healthcare.
the medical setting. Yeah.
Yep.
But I kind of like that because I feel like maybe people will be more likely if you're sick and like sitting in a lecture hall and like undergrad to just wear a mask. Like, let's get that going so we're
Yeah.
not coughing all over each other. Love that.
I also look really cute with a mask, so I mean, I personally think it's better
I've been
anyways.
I've been putting just like makeup on from basically just like my forehead, like my
Yeah,
like under my eyes, like to do my dark circles up. And so I've been saving like half the amount of makeup. It's been pretty great.
Well, there you go. You're saving
exactly.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can literally only see like from here. Like, look at this. All I have are eyes, and I've been told I have nice eyes. So if all you can see are my eyes, then I'm winning.
Shannon, you know what you should invent? If you could invent this as an optometrist, like something that you can use to make your glasses not fog when you're
Oh
wearing.
my God, Shannon, I'd pay a premium.
Um, you can use surgical tape.
No, but like a lens coating that'll like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. I feel like that would be more in the route of like what do you call them?
Biomedical engineer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
biomedical engineer. Do we know any of those?
Yeah, it's
I don't.
Sabrina.
Sabrina. Yeah.
Sabrina?
Yeah.
I thought she was. What happened
Mechanical and
to?
biomedical. She's a double major,
Oh my goodness
I think.
gracious.
Let
She's
me know
so
if I'm
smart.
wrong, Sabrina. But you probably won't listen anyways, so
She's probably not listening anyway, so
yeah.
it's fine. I don't think we got any texts from last week.
No, no one texted me.
Yeah, me either.
Shannon didn't even listen last week, so it's
I
fine. You're busy. You're becoming a doctor.
truthfully, I
It's a
did
good
not.
experience. Yeah, it's fine. All right,
My
so
free time is incredibly limited, but
it's
that's
fine.
okay.
I wouldn't expect you to waste your free time on me, anyways. Anyways, last year, so 2 years ago, you danced, and you were an absolute superstar. And then last year, you were Thon Weekend with me, which meant you had to be an absolute superstar because you're hanging out with me so much. How was that
We make up
different?
for you now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. How was that different than dancing?
I think it was 20 times more stressful, but 20 times more rewarding. Like, just getting to, it was definitely like the process of preparing leading up was different because dancing, it was more like individual, like making sure just like your body was ready to go. I actually cut out the caffeine and everything before then, but leading up to it, like I feel like I was pulling all nighters, just like getting everything ready to go the night before. I was up until like 4:30 in the morning, like
Yeah.
making some gifts for the dancers, and like it was definitely different. It was a different getting ready, but it was just as just as rewarding. I wouldn't have changed the experience for the world. And I had Bobby next to me the entire time, so it was that much greater.
Well, not the entire time. I actually got a break. Yours got cut short.
Oh,
Going there.
Blue Band Gate.
Do we
We
want to
are
talk?
going there.
Have we ever talked about it? I don't think we've ever even talked about it on the podcast.
I don't think we have.
It's been referenced, but I've always just shut down the conversation. But with Shannon here, we have to say it. We have to talk about it.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
go ahead.
That was, looking back, I'm like, that was just the funniest thing. But in the moment, it was the worst thing that ever happened because so I got to, like, I was ready to go on my break. I don't know what time it was that we switched off.
It was so it happened during pep rally, which was Saturday night. It was probably like 8 or 9. We probably switched off around like 6.
Yeah,
it
that
did.
sounds right.
Yeah.
So on my way home, I was the whole way. So leading up to it, I finally like got off and I was like ready to go home, and
And
I
at that point, you'd
couldn't
been there
like
24 hours, right? It was like more than 24 because we did entrance plans. So you had been at Thon for 27-ish hours.
very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get to go home, and so I waddle out of the BJC and I try and find a bus. I missed the bus twice because I didn't understand where the buses were. And so at that point, I'm already crying because I was just like, oh, I'm tired. I want to go home. And so I finally get a bus and I'm just on it. I probably look like a zombie. And I finally, like, I forgot what stop I got off. So I got off at a stop 2 stops too early because I was confused. So I'm like waddling home, just kind of crying, and I'm like, I just need a little break. And then I finally get home and I like walk in, and my roommate's like, how are you? And I'm like, I'm just a little tired. So I finally get to take a nap, and I had an alarm set, but I woke up before the alarm, and I looked down at my phone to a text from Bobby, and all it said, I think, what was my nap? I might have gotten 2 hours maybe.
It was about 2 or 3 hours, yeah.
And I look down and Bobby goes, so we lost the section to the blue band. And I just remember staring at it, being like, oh no,
I think
Bobby.
I think I was like, "Hey, we lost a section to the blue band, but I think I've got it covered. So enjoy your break." It's like,
Oh my goodness. I
And
remember
then what did
calling you.
Shannon do?
I called you and I was like, what happened? So you like explained it, and I'm like, all right, I'm on my way back. So I hung up. I went out to my living room, and my roommates were sitting in there. And I just kind of looked at them. And oh, and Kylie and Kylie's sister, was up too. And I was like, they lost the section. I'm going to take a shower. And then I asked my roommate Tova if she could drive me back. So she was like, yeah, I'll drive you back. I was like, okay, let's do this. So I go to take a shower, and I just immediately, I just had a full breakdown. I was sobbing in the shower. I'm like, I'm so tired. I can't do this right now. But then, like after that, I was like, Shannon, why are you crying? And then I started making myself laugh hysterically because I was like, ooh, I'm having a breakdown. That's kind of funny. So I was like going between sobbing and laughing, and I'm just I'm a little hysterical right now. And I'm like, I was trying to be quiet because I was like, my roommates are gonna think I broke, which I did. But so I get out and I get into my room, and I'm just like, I keep doing it, and I'm like, I can't make it stop, but I'm like trying to like hold it back so like no one thinks I'm crazy. And then I like go out, and my roommates are like, obviously they heard the whole thing, and they're like, you okay? no. Like laugh crying. Finally pulled it together. I like put my clothes on and then like drove back. But okay, Bobby, where are you in this story?
Well,
You guys
so
are
so this happens, and first of all, I feel terrible because I lost the section. Right, I had one job to watch the section, and I quite literally couldn't. So I get kicked out, and I text you, and in retrospect, I sent you a text that was like, "Hey, this is the worst thing that could have happened, and it happened. But enjoy sleeping," which obviously you weren't gonna go.
Passive aggressive.
Yeah, like obviously you weren't gonna be able to go back to sleep. Like there was no way.
I hope your night's going better than mine. Mine's
No, it wasn't like passive aggressive. It was like, hey, this is what's going on, but like, don't worry about it. Go back to sleep. You'll be fine. Like, I've got it covered.
Which, in retrospect, you just should have never texted.
I should not have texted you. I should have just handled it myself. Either way, I, I'm trying to like figure out how to get the section back. We're in the top tier of the BJC against the back wall.
The upper bowl.
The literal up against the back wall of the upper bowl. Trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm like trying to like talk to R&R about when we can get back in. Meanwhile, you're sending me Snapchat videos of you in the shower, laugh crying, and I'm like, "Oh great, my partner in crime is broken." So now there's still 22 more hours left to go this weekend. I'm all alone.
How do I hit the reset?
Yeah, I'm like, what am I doing? So we like the last like half hour of pep rally, I just skipped it and I stood right at the portal, and you came in, you found us there. We got in a little bit before we probably should have. Some people knew some other people in R&R, so they were able to sneak in. Thanks to those people, they know who they are. But we got down there. There were like sorority girls who tried to take our spot.
Yeah, so we picked the wrong. There were like the the two little entrances you could go in, and at the last minute I look and like we picked the run that the whole blue band was coming out of. So they're like, you can't go in. And I looked over and I see people rushing in the other side. I'm like, we picked the wrong one. We picked the wrong one. So I was like, quick, everyone, go to the other side. And I'm like, so we're trying to like go in both sides, and then we get there, but there's already two lines of these these like soror. At this point, I was like, I'm a pretty passive person. I'm a pretty like
This is our spot.
Shannon was not very passive at this point. Shannon was very. I was passive, and Shannon was very confrontational.
I am so non-confrontational most of the time, but I was like, you got like not you guys. I mean like the sorority, like the blue band. That's just like the situation. I was like, it messed with my break. Now I mean business. I was like, I did not cut my break half. So like we lose our front section, like we lose it for the dancers. Like no. So I'm like everyone get down there, and there are like two lines of these sorority girls. I don't even know which one it was, but they're like in our section. So I think I don't know if I did or it was all blur, but I think Bobby might have been like, "Hey guys, this is." Did you confront them or did I?
I did. I talked to them and I was like, "Hey, this is our section. Can you please go to your section?" And they were like, "Oh, well, it's just like us. We'll just like hang out with you." And I was like, please no."
Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, if you say no, we had the number. So I'm like, we're going to play that game. So I was like, shout out to everyone that I can't remember who like was just glorious, like just doing everything that we needed. Like I was like pulling people to come down to like fill the seats because like one person per row. So we started like infiltrating to the point that like they couldn't be standing with themselves anymore. And I'm like, I hate being like confrontational, but it is our section. You can't. It's not like we were stealing someone else's section. We were just someone was trying to steal ours, and I said no. And I remember like the whole time, like you could like the sorority people had their letters up, and I could like I made eye contact with our dancers down there, and they looked like, oh no, like what happened?
Yeah.
And I remember like making eye contact with Sabrina, almost like one sec, like just watch this. And so it was like a matter of maybe like 15 minutes that we eventually they just like all just decided to say, okay, we'll just leave, and they all like walked out with their like heads hung with like holding their like letters. And then I just I look down and I like do the little like finger guns, and like everyone's celebrating. I'm like, oh, Don't mess with me when I'm tired.
That honestly though was like that I felt like I slept like 5 hours after we did that because I freaked out so hard and then it was over and it was like all the weight of the world was off our shoulders and we were just ready to line dance and hang out.
I know. I was rejuvenated. I was like, whatever song was playing, I was just like going so hard to
Yep.
it. I was just like, we're here. This is it now. We're here for the rest of the time.
We have
And
won
we
the
were, and it was the rest of the weekend like felt easy compared to that. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, home stretch, let's do it. But honestly, like those maybe 3.5 hours I got, I was like easy, like ready to go. I wouldn't have been able to. Oh, yeah.
Well, speaking of home stretch, we are in the home stretch of this podcast, and we have a very important question. What do you think will be in the line dance this year?
I'm not gonna go with the obvious answer that is pertinent to today. So I will go with, oh, you know what I really want to be in the line dance this year
Let's
that
hear it.
I would be living. Are you guys on TikTok? Are you
No.
active?
No.
I am not.
No. Okay,
With
so
a
let
worst.
me just
the
like
reference.
let me line this up for you. So, I'm like I straddle the line between like millennial and Gen Z, but I am like Gen Z's biggest fan because they're just the most ridiculous people on TikTok. I love it so much. Their energy is immaculate. But this whole like last week or two, like maybe like two, I mean it's been going on for a little longer, but like all these people on TikTok are like there is like a viral song that like someone like sang about like Ratatouille. Have you guys heard that one?
No.
It's like, well, I will not. It's like Remy the Ratatouille, the rat of all my dreams. I praise you, my Ratatouille. And then so it's just like that's been like a song, like a sound on TikTok, and so people started like doing a little more like as like these bits, and someone was like, wait guys, we should just make a Ratatouille musical. And I'm like, stop it. So like my whole like For You page has just been like people like adding bits and pieces to what could be a Ratatouille musical, but it's so ridiculous, but the talent is immaculate. Like it would be an immaculate like musical. So that would be my pipe dream of what I would want to be in the line
The
dance.
Ratatouille musical.
The Ratatouille musical.
That is
If you
definitely
guys,
the most unique answer we've gotten.
Potentially my favorite.
it's been what has been keeping me going. Is just like every time I get another like Ratatouille song, and it's the most ridiculous movie, but it's the talent. Like they put in like professional grade effort into it, and I'm like, I really want this to happen because that would be fun. There is a TikTok that was like, like with everything, going on right now in the climate, and they're like, and Gen Z is just over here putting together a Ratatouille musical. Like, I love it so much. Did you guys answer this?
Oh,
What are your answers?
I have a big list that I read every week. I don't think anything new this week. Morgan, what do you think?
Okay. So in the past, it's been things like Tiger King.
I can get the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
the whole list. I didn't know.
I don't go through the whole list. I mean,
Let me see if I put anything new.
the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh.
Things like that.
I have the Indiana touchdown. I don't know if we talked about that last week.
I mean, yeah, with the way that our football season's going,
Or 2-point conversion, whatever it was.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm trying to think. There was one that. I mean, today. I mean, we're recording this on Tuesday, November 3rd. For anyone listening, so today's layup is definitely the election.
Did you guys vote?
Of course I did.
Did you guys vote?
Oh yes, I voted.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
But
my absentee got to me so late, and I was like, I just hope I have like enough time. But I got it in, and they counted it, so I was like, thank goodness. But
Good.
anywho, thank goodness.
Yeah, maybe like something with like the U.S. Postal Service, because I know it's been struggling. Like, I hope. I mean, I don't know if that's the most positive thing, but it could just be something referencing it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
I think there's gonna be a lot of
Amy
TikTok
Coney Barrett.
songs.
Yeah, TikTok. Yes,
Yeah,
probably.
she'll be in there.
Yeah.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
There's literally just so much. There's so much.
I'm trying to think if
That could be
anything
in there.
happened this week.
I don't think anything this week did.
Not that I feel like I haven't been able to keep up as well. I'm like,
Same.
I try and get my news, but I don't have cable, so I'm like, the news I'm getting is like from
Weird
a lot of
articles.
social media, and then I can like go from there. I can
Yeah.
research from there. But it's like, yeah, it's tough when you don't have the time to watch the news come in.
Yeah. Okay, Bobby, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, I got two. This is a fun one. Shannon, what does thon mean to you?
Oh, what a question. Thon means
We can come back to you.
thon means to me, thon is like the single most best thing that you can be a part of, because it doesn't just last, your 4 years being at Penn State. It's like from now on, like my like number one charity is always going to be Four Diamonds, and is always going to be thon. So it's always, I have it tattooed on my body. I'm like, it's thon.
I'm gonna get that. I
I'm
need
sure
to do
other
a
people
tattoo.
gave you better answers.
No, that's a great answer. It's just,
It is.
yeah. All right, and then my last question: who do you want to see on this podcast?
Me again.
Of course.
Just kidding. If you could get um see, this is where I could give a really clever answer, but my
Do it.
brain's a little tired. So um if you could get someone to come on dressed up as Ratatouille, I think that would
Okay.
make me very happy.
Where did we find you?
The only one who has an interest in this Ratatouille TikTok trend.
You're going to be a literal doctor, and I ask you who I should have on my podcast, and you go, I don't know, but as long as they're dressed as Remy the rat, I really think it'll be okay.
Yeah. Well,
All right, well, noted. We'll look into
Final
it.
answer. So,
final answer. Yeah.
do you have anything that you would like to add?
That I miss you guys. I think you guys are doing so great. I know this year is definitely different and hard, but I see, just from what I can see, that Heal is, doing everything they can to make the best out of it. And you guys are doing great.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, we miss you. We wish you were still here. You should come back to Pennsylvania.
I miss you guys so much. I'll be back in 3 weeks. Wait.
3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Yeah,
Wow,
Thanksgiving's
that's
coming
soon.
fast. But if that's it, then thank you everyone for listening. Thank you so much, Shannon, for coming on. And I'm gonna pass it over to Bobby.
Yeah, thanks again, everyone, for hanging out with us this week, and we will be back again next week. And until then, keep on dancing.